Hello everyone, Romalome here, and today we're just going to be discussing the current nerfs that are being applied to Yuhaba and the nerfs that will be applied to him moving forward. So I just wanted to discuss um how I personally think. Yes, I do understand why they did it, but it ruins the team building aspect that made Yuhaba such a fun unit to use in the first place. So let's just take a trip back to memory lane so we could just go over how you built around him the first time he came out. As most of the older players know, you built around Yuhabad just putting placements down. So you would typically use rare Joseph, rare Sasuke, rare Luffy, because you wanted units that had 6 placements or 5 placements put around him. And with those placements, he would just get buffed drastically to the point where when you have a unit that's full AoE that follows up when hitting multiple enemies with like 80 plus range in update 4, that's insane. Now, they did nerf him the first time, rightfully so, because that was a real nerf that needed to happen because Ash Fallen would also apply to players. So I vividly remember Yuhoba would get to like a million levels of damage, like millions of levels of damage because Ash Fallen would apply to the 3 other players that were in your lobby. So you would just have each player bring just straight rares, and that was insane. And so, now since then, that was a simple concept of building around Yuhaba. It doesn't take that much thought. Just they have 5 placements. Let me put them next to Yuhaba. Right? That's all you really needed. But now, with that passive from his familiar, the scope of building around Yukoba widens so much in a positive way. And the reason why I say that is because now, to understand that passive, like, or not even to understand that passive, once you understand what that passive means, you actually have to dig deep in your box and see which units that sentence applies to and to find the best ones out of that bunch. And that's what I mean when I say they kind of ruined the fun aspect of building around Yuhaba, a pure team reliant unit, because you're just removing his options. So now, yes, you still have to know what your units do, which units the sentence applies to, but after you do know which units it doesn't apply to, whether it be because they're blacklisted or it just doesn't apply to them, is it just doesn't become fun. And like I said, I do understand that they nerfed him specifically because of the power creep. But in my opinion, I would say I can't really vibe with that sentence because ever since update 11, when Alucard got his familiar and Memoria, power creep has just been insane. Genuinely insane. Alucard came out and he was the best unit in the game by far when he got buffed. After that, Ichigo came out, and then don't even get me started on the Naruto units. The Naruto units ran the entire game from, I'm looking at the update log right now, from April 17th to June 22nd, because June 22nd was when Gojo and Sukuna came out. Then that Naruto team ran the entire game for how many months is that? January, April, May, June. So for 3 months, they ran the entire game. Sorry if my sentence cut off. My headphones died. But they ran the entire game for 3 months straight. And that team was just getting straight buff after buff after buff. So it's like, and the reason why I say the power creep has been insane since Alucard came out is because every unit revolved around Alucard. Alucard was literally on every singular team. Alucard and Ainz were on every singular team if they could. And the numbers that we were getting were insane. if you compare it, granted, and I do understand the reason why Naruto's DPS was that high was because you do have to control him. But even after the constant nerfs that they were doing to Naruto and Pain, their numbers were they were still gapping the game. So I feel like that doesn't even matter. But I digress. All in all, I do think that yes, it makes sense as to why they nerfed him, but I don't think that power creep should have been the real reason why when they've been power creeping the hell out of the game for months now. Literally months now. And when the anniversary comes out, depending on how many units they drop, they're gonna rule over the entire game. And based off the first anniversary, they dropped 13 units, so at minimum, 5 units are just gonna be gapping the game potentially. So I don't know. I don't think that power creep statement matters too much, but you could let me know your thoughts on that. Like I said, I just don't really like how they closed the scope on Yuhaba's team building aspect, which in my opinion is one of the more fun things about AV is building teams because of how complex and advanced units are nowadays. So it is what it is. He's still fun. I'm gonna make a video on the new Yuhaba team and see how that works. Honestly, if that team doesn't beat the limit test stage 1, something's wrong. I might just like watch a video on how to beat it cuz that's crazy. But either way though, that's kind of it. That's kind of all my thoughts. I just wish they nerfed him in a different way by nerfing his numbers, not his mechanics and his team building. Cuz I think if they nerfed his familiar damage from 800% to maybe 200%, I don't think they would have blacklisted as many units as they did. I Out of the units I know got blacklisted, Guts, Marileona, Gogeta, Guts and Marileona, they should have been blacklisted because Yuhaba with just like a few units, he already gets to like what 100 range. So and full AOE, with like Guts had to go. Actually, no, that was a point that I forgot. I should have said this in the beginning, but the reason why I don't like the way they're going about Yuhaba is because they're not announcing it anywhere. If you're not looking at the unit labs at all, you would never know that Yuhaba got blacklisted. I think what they should have done is they should have put like a blacklist tab inside of the familiar because that would help out a lot. That would really help out a lot. So you could just know, okay, this unit doesn't work, this unit doesn't work, this unit doesn't work. I just don't understand why they can't just do simple communication like that. And even then, they didn't even make an announcement either. Like, hey, we realize Yuhaba is actually insane. We don't want a singular unit to be doing 200 million DPS by himself practically. So, or like I said, let's say they didn't want to put a blacklist in game. They didn't even put it in the announcements or like even in the update log. So quite literally, they're not even at least trying to communicate like, hey, we made a mistake on this unit. Unfortunately, we have to nerf them, but for the health of the game's power creep, these are the units that, you know, don't work with him anymore. So I don't know. Either way, um I'm still gonna use him. I'm still gonna try him out, but I don't know. It is what it is. So that's all I had to say. If you guys like content like this, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.